never knew my father. But Mom and I were really close. We didn't need anyone else. We both loved to talk over a cup of hot chocolate in the morning and tell each other the most interesting things we read on the internet. Fact-checked, of course. After that, we biked to school most mornings on Mom's way to work. One day, when we were in a little bit of a rush, Mom and I raced through a light just as it turned. I didn't pay attention to a car making left turn, crossing the intersection and nicking Mom's back tire, sending her flying off her bike while it sped away. Rage rushed through me, and I threw rocks at the car before it sped away without looking back. Oh no! Mom! I'll call 911. We need to get you to the hospital.
Did you see who did this?
Good question. How about I leave you alone with this guy instead?
No.
Well, let's not wait for the ambulance. I can take you to the hospital right now.
Here I am, getting into the story without even introducing myself. Hi, I'm Aurora. I used to live in Pennsylvania, and now in Australia. Before I tell you the rest of this story, please like and subscribe. The man introduced himself to us as Carrie. And he was so kind that he checked on us every day for the week Mom was in the hospital. Once Mom came home on crutches, she tried to go back to work at the chocolate factory. But instead, they let her go. We were struggling when, like a guardian angel, Carrie showed up at the door. He came to meet us as it was his last day in Pennsylvania, and when he heard about everything, he had an idea.
I have plenty of room, and I'd really like to help you and Aurora.
Titan has freed us!
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
The next thing I knew, we packed and left everything I liked and moved with Carrie to Australia. He had an enormous mansion. I had my own bedroom and my very own study with an art corner. Carrie even hired Mom to be his office assistant, and we never had to cook or clean anything. The upstairs housekeeper made our beds, and the driver took me to school along with Carrie's twin nieces, Julie and Jackie. You'll have to sit in the boot, like the dog we never had. There's plenty of room in the back seat. It's a big SUV. We're not sitting next to you. Just because our uncle took you in does not mean we have to change our lives to make room for you either. That one guy, Lee, who looked like a rock star, had his locker right next to mine. And one day, I accidentally hit him with my locker door, giving him a start.
Watch it, loser.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. The door just swung open kind of fast.
Don't let it happen again, or you'll see how fast I can fight back.
He surprised me the next time we were both there at the same time, when he picked up a drawing that fell out of my notebook.
This looks like a cross between an old famous Degas and a cool Banksy.
When the book speaks in cliches, you don't expect much.
Touché, mademoiselle. I'll try to be more original. Maybe you should crack this book open to see more of the story.
Are you asking me out in a very roundabout way?
Good question. How about I leave you alone with this guy instead?
It sounds like you want me to, new girl. I got Aurora. What do you know?
You can put it back and pick again. I don't mind. The class laughed, but the teacher said there were no swaps, and we found out that we had to act out a scene from a Shakespeare play.
Oh, this should be fun. I bet you want to do Romeo and Juliet.
No, why would I pick that when I could play someone who hates you?
I thought you didn't like cliches.
Obviously we should do. And then we both said it at the exact same time. Much ado about nothing.
A play where the world could be blowing up.
And people are more concerned with the petty, stupid stuff.
Shakespeare really is timeless.
Yeah, stupidity hasn't ended in hundreds of years. Isn't it always the handsome ones who are the worst? All the way home, I had to bear Julie and Jackie taunting me about Lee while I sat behind them in the car. Is that play where you get killed by the boy you're paired with?
Good question. How about I leave you alone with this guy instead?
That's definitely the one you should do with Lee. You two are thinking of fairy tales. Maybe you should do Cinderella and see how that goes. The next day, I was studying in the library when Lee came over, plopped his smelly shoes on my table, and gave me a weird look. I laughed as I walked away. He still followed me, then blocked my path with his arm.
Come to my place after school?
What? Are you nuts?
Don't we need to practice the play? My house is perfect for it.
But later that week, Mom seemed upset after a nice dinner out with Carrie. When I asked her what was wrong, I was shocked at her answer. Carrie and I have gotten closer, so I guess he felt comfortable telling me the truth. He was driving the car that hit me. What? He deceived us and I thought of him as an angel all the time. He should be in jail. I'm going to call the police and tell them everything. Mom tried to stop me, but I stormed off and took a bus to the police station. The kind officer told me that they had no jurisdiction for something that happened in a different country. I was so angry. So I started to think of ways to hurt Carrie like he hurt Mom. I ended up taking scissors and cutting a slit in every pair of pants he had. But in one day, they were all replaced and Mom made me apologize. Aurora, you have to forgive him. I have. He's giving us a better life than I ever could. But he hurt you, and he lied? He didn't mean to, and he cares deeply. Maybe he has you fooled, but I am not. Because of everything, I was so distracted, even while doing my homework at Lee's house. I guess he noticed how quiet I was because he did something I least expected. Salsa! He kept on dancing, making these silly faces, and then he started tumbling over the furniture like a circus clown. Which made me laugh till I cried. Eventually, he sat down next to me and took me by surprise when he hugged me. Why'd...
You look upset about something, and I've learned over the years that a hug is like magic. We should rehearse the scene all the way through since we have to do it in class tomorrow.
He asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes. I wanted the good vibe to last, so I couldn't face riding with the nieces to school the next day. I took the bus. On my way to class, I noticed Lee talking to Julie and Jackie, so I ducked around the corner so I could listen without them seeing me. Then, I was shocked when he leaned closer to Jackie.
Well, I am that good of an actor.
Okay, but you can quit now. I don't like this anymore. You were just supposed to spend time with her to see how Jackie and I are so much better. I'm missing my boyfriend. Aren't you missing me too?
Of course. I'm doing this for you, right? You two came up with this plan.
Plan? Getting close to me was all some sort of game for them? He didn't want me any more than Carrie wanted us. I was fuming. When it was time to perform our scene in class, I put on the low-cut costume our maid delivered for me with an extra prop I asked her to bring. Lee whispered in my ear before we began.
Aurora, you look amazing.
See, M-S-A-P. Cap!
Wait for the next surprise. When he tried to squeeze my hand, I conveniently pulled away to grab my little paper bag with the prop inside. In our scene, we worked out that Lee would casually take a bite from an apple. We ad-libbed and made up some added dialogue when I handed him a caramel apple instead.
What a treat to have caramel. You'd think it was my birthday.
I tried to keep from laughing, but his face was priceless as he took a bite and found it was a caramel onion. The whole class laughed at him, but he kept going, like he wanted to prove he'd do anything for me. After class, Lee grabbed my arm.
What was that?
Maybe Jackie, your real girlfriend, has some of your mouth freshener for you.
Wait, how'd you find out?
As I told them what happened, I didn't see that Lee had been let into the room.
You only think that because you don't have all of the information. Didn't you say you like to fact check? I never meant to hurt you. I was trying to find the right time to tell Jackie that she and I were through and how much I really do like you. That getting to know you was absolutely the best thing ever.
I'm going back to Pennsylvania, not because I'm running away from what happened here, but because I've got dreams to chase. I want to go to art school and build my life on my own terms. Lee remained silent, but I could tell he liked what I was saying.
But what about us?
You will always be a part of my story, but it's time for me to write the next chapter in my own way. Carrie, you and Mom have a chance at happiness. I won't stand in the way of that. Lee, if what we have is real, it'll survive the distance and the test of time. The room was filled with a sense of understanding as Carrie told a maid to pack my things. When I hugged my mom goodbye, I whispered, "I'm doing this for us, Mom, so we can both be strong independently." I left the mansion with my head held high, not as a girl swept up in a whirlwind of events, but as a young woman taking her first steps into a future she was crafting for herself.